Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us in our 9th installment of the NGLCC's LGBT Teleconference series for 2013. As an account manager with the NGLCC Supplier Diversity Initiative, I am thrilled to be on the call with you today as the moderator. We have a large audience on the call, so we will not be introducing each business owner. However, know that we have a diverse group of business owners on the call from all over the country with a wide range of goods and services that they provide. As you know, the call will focus on the Many Faces One Dream Tour that will be traveling through 13 cities across the United States, including Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, Fort Lauderdale and Miami, Houston, Indianapolis, Los Angeles, New Orleans, Newark, Oakland and San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. Many Faces, One Dream is possible through the joint effort of collaborating partners including the NGLCC, the National Black Justice Coalition, the Small Business Administration, and Black Enterprise. Many Faces, One Dream was launched to be an LGBT economic empowerment tour for communities of color and seeks to bring focus on the community's economic power, innovations, and creativity in the small business sphere. While the tour is focused on bringing economic empowerment to people of color within the LGBT business community, Many Faces, One Dream is open for anyone to attend, and I highly encourage you to do so if you can. Participants are grouped into 2 different tracks. There is a Starting Your Business track, and that will provide training on the key elements of a business plan, loans, marketing, and the Small Business Administration, the SBA's programs and services. The second track is Taking Your Business to the Next Level, and it is geared towards LGBT firms that are currently in business but want to expand and grow. So, Sam, since you're on the call, would you mind, do you want to give us a brief introduction of sort of what Many Faces, One Dream is?
Absolutely. And that summary you gave was fantastic. So, and I don't want to be too overly repetitive, but I have staffed 2 of these events myself in Detroit and Atlanta, and I had an amazing time. It was an incredibly powerful event, and I met so many really interesting business people that were just sort of coming into awareness about the NGLCC. So it was exciting to see more people learning about our program, which ultimately could mean that the network of LGBTBEs will continue to get larger, which is in all of your best interests. As your networks get bigger, I think there's a lot of opportunities there. We talk about the resources of the SBA sometimes in a really general way, and I know when I was on those tour stops, I was really kind of blown away by how much there is to offer. Not only do they have the folks there from SCORE, where people can have access to all kinds of expertise from the leaders there, a wide range of things from basic business planning to much more complicated things like building a strategic plan for export. And export is something we talk about at the NGLCC a lot. I know a lot of businesses are thinking about that. Since 95% of the consumers in the world are outside of this country, it's an important thing for a lot of businesses to think about. And the SBA can be really helpful in starting to figure out, does that make sense for your business, and if so, how would you go about it? Another thing that is available there were workshops on all the different certifications that are available through the government and access to federal contracting with a specific focus on the 8A program, which is a very interesting program that many of our business owners do qualify for. And it was great to hear information about that program, not only how to get in it, what's the process, but what's the value of it, and does it make sense for a particular business, because it's not right for everyone. And then, of course, probably what most of us are most familiar with from the SBA is the wide array of lending products that they have. During the time of the Obama administration, many of these programs were enhanced, deepened. The guarantees were larger than before. So for those businesses that are either looking for initial financing, SBA loans have very attractive terms. And for those existing businesses that are looking for ways to expand, there are many different expansion programs like the 504 or the 7A program that it's rare to have an opportunity to just go to a workshop and get all the information in one place. Also, at an event where you're surrounded by your peers and your fellow LGBT-owned businesses. I found it to be incredibly, incredibly valuable. And it's something I would definitely encourage all of you to participate if you can. New York's coming up, but there are other opportunities throughout the year.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
That was a great explanation. Do we have Kimberlee or Derek on the line yet?
Yes, I'm here. This is Kim.
Hi, Kim. Thanks so much for joining us. So, Kim, you're an LGBTBE as well as owner of FEMWORKS, a multicultural marketing, PR, and photography firm in the Newark, New Jersey area. And so, Kim, I'm going to start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about FEMWORKS and what its core capabilities include?
Sure. FEMWORKS is an integrated marketing and communications firm, and we specialize in developing campaigns and events for urban and multicultural and LGBT markets. We are known for developing campaigns that really touch difficult-to-reach multicultural demographic groups that are usually in urban markets. Our strength is touching real people in a real way, and we know what works because we are them. Our services fall into 3 categories. We produce complex events. We also develop marketing and communications campaigns, and we produce campaign photography and creative services. And yes, we are certified as an LGBTBE, but we're also nationally certified as an MBE, a WBE, a SBE, and probably some other BEs I'm not remembering right now.
That's really great. Yeah, the certification definitely does help, and as many as you can have, the better. And how do you see attending Many Faces, One Dream helping to grow FEMWORKS specifically, and what do you expect to take away from attending one of these events?
I think a really important aspect that I'm looking forward to getting more information about is the certification, because FEMWORKS is really reevaluating our certifications. And as I mentioned, we're certified in several different categories with national certification. And we're reevaluating if that national certification, particularly in the MBE and WBE categories, is really necessary for the type of work that we want to do. And we're considering more of a regional certification. So I want to understand exactly what type of prospective client benefits from certain types of certification that my firm has. I'm also very interested in doing work with the federal government. So programs like the 8A, I want to learn as much about it as possible. So I'm very happy to have this one-stop resource where I can learn more about certification, because as I said, I think it's certainly a gateway and it's benefited me in a lot of ways, but it's also a significant cost. So I want to learn how to still get the same benefit but perhaps by choosing a more cost-effective path.
That's really awesome. Now, I heard you mention 8A certification. Some folks on the line might know what that is, but would you mind explaining that a little bit?
My understanding of the 8A certification is like a set-aside program with federal procurement. And 8A, I think, is applicable to all of the departments of the federal government. And it's essentially another kind of short listing of qualified firms that fall into some disadvantaged category. And from what I understand as well, the federal government purchases from every type of category and industry we can possibly imagine. So 8A is not restricted to particular industries.
Yes, that is my understanding of it as well. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit and go back to Sam. But first I want to make sure, is Derek on the line?
Yes, guys, I'm here.
Hi, Derek. Thanks for joining. So, Sam, you've been to one of these tours before. In fact, you were at the kickoff of Many Faces, One Dream in Detroit. And what components of the event did you find most valuable? Do you think, for example, that Kimberlee will have a greater understanding of how her business may or may not fit into 8A certification and the other certifications available to her?
Yeah, absolutely. I almost jumped in while you were talking, Kimberlee, because I was just like, oh, that's so exciting, because that's exactly what you're going to find. The way the SBA has structured their workshops, it's just done so thoughtfully with the needs of the business owners in mind. Our good friends at the SBA are really good at this, and they really do understand the small business owner. So not only is there complete access to all the information about big programs like the 8A program, but there is a lot of, I would say, a deep dive into the other specific certifications that you were alluding to, things like Hub Zone or anything that's connected to your local municipality that could be valuable to you. Sorry about that. I'm in a hotel. I really didn't expect the phone to ring. Sorry about that. I think one of the most valuable things that I found was that this is ridiculous. Hold on one second. I'm just going to okay, maybe it stopped. One of the things I really appreciated about it was that the team at the SBA was completely available to everyone all day long. We had lunch together. Business owners were able to sit down with those folks from the agency and talk directly with them one-on-one, as well as in the classroom. And then when there were breaks, there is like an exhibitor area, and all of the different support services had set up booths as well. So there was plenty of opportunity for business owners to really get to know those folks and get direct information. And, we have folks come to D.C. sometimes to access things like SBA resources, but the difference with this tour is the agency folks that you're talking to are your local. They're at your local office. So these are people you could have an ongoing relationship with. If you entered into one of their programs to access the resources, there's a good chance you could continue to work with the person that you met at the tour. And I think that's incredibly valuable.
Absolutely, and making those local connections, too, are just, they're extremely valuable.
The other thing I would just add is the camaraderie. I mean, there's something really important about building your network everywhere you go. And there was such a strong group of business owners there, and it was such a congenial environment. I saw people really getting to know each other. In my session, I do a session on our certification. I talked a lot about the value of teaming, and I could see that people were taking that very seriously and really getting to know each other to think about possibilities of collaboration in the future. And again, all these people right in your local footprint.
That's excellent. Now, speaking of local, Derek, you're on the call, and Derek, you're the executive director of our local affiliate chamber in New York City, the NGLCC-NY. Can you tell us a little bit about your role with the NGLCC-NY?
Of course, and thank you guys for having me on the call today. Really, my role is as the executive director, as a board president in most business organizations. Our main mission is to create a environment for our business members in our area and surrounding areas to really grow their business, to create economic development for the area of New York, and to provide services and programming to facilitate and encourage those business members to work together, to create corporate partnerships, and to really start to build that network. As everyone on the call prior to me has said already, how important having a network is, and even locally how more important it is. And so that's what we try to foster with the chamber, working with our city officials, with other businesses, our corporate partners, and of course with NGLCC nationally, trying to really give people the tools they need in order to strengthen their businesses and grow their businesses.
And now Many Faces One Dream will actually be coming to your chamber, to New York, next month. In fact, October 20th through the 22nd. What are you most excited about this event, and what do you hope LGBTBEs will gain from this experience?
We're excited to be able to host the tour in New York. I've been working with the tour officials and trying to make sure that we are creating programming that really does benefit the people that are attending the conference. I think Sam said this really great earlier. You have direct contact with local SBA and all these other affiliates that are going to be there to have this one-stop shop of resources to start and or grow your business, to continue to develop your network of other business members in the community and across the country, and to really be able to capitalize on having all those people under one roof for a few days where you can have all your questions answered at one time, be exposed to different certifications, and really be able to figure out a strategic plan to help your business grow. And so I think that's one of the key elements of this conference, and we're really excited again to have them here, and looking forward to everyone walking away with action items and a huge list of network to continue to grow their business once they leave.
Excellent. And for our LGBTBEs in the New York area, we will be sending communications out regarding the Many Faces One Dream event in New York, so definitely stay tuned for that. Now, Sam, at each city, Many Faces One Dream hosts a small business marketplace that features financial services and certification agents to support small business development. And the marketplace works to ensure that business owners have access to the resources and tools needed to grow and sustain their businesses and their enterprises. Since you have been to one of these events before, what did you think of the small business marketplace?
It's really great because it's one thing to hear information in a classroom style where it's being addressed to everyone, and it's a totally different thing to be able to follow up with that person offline, one-on-one, and talk about specific things of your business that you might not discuss in front of the whole group. And all those folks were around for that. And of course, the opportunity to pick up different pieces of collateral as well. And hopefully, well, we didn't really mention this before, but Kimberlee is also one of the founders of one of our newest affiliates in Newark. So we've really got two chamber leaders on the phone. And, in the other cities, we were able to have an exhibit area that was from the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. And then we had also sharing that space with us, our local affiliates. And we'd love to offer that up to the two of you as well. You're in such a powerful market. Many of our suppliers are in your area, and I know we're looking forward to finding opportunities for your two groups to collaborate and work together. So I think this is just a great way to get that started. So all of us will be in that booth as well, talking about our certification and different opportunities through the NGLCC.
And the small business marketplace would also, I would imagine, be a great opportunity to, again, make those local connections.
It really is, yeah. And, we take a lot of pride in all the national connections that we allow people to make. But, anybody who's heard me speak has heard me say over and over, you need the national leverage, but you also need your strong, powerful network right where you live and work. And this is just great access to that.
That's excellent. And Kimberlee, how does Many Faces, One Dream also benefit corporate partners or corporate sponsors or any corporations who might be attending?
A marketplace is a really excellent opportunity to have face-to-face time. From a corporate partner perspective, that's why they enjoy going to all of these expos and marketplaces and what have, because that's the way you put a face with a name. Ultimately, we as vendors, as entrepreneurs, have to be signed up in procurement portals, but it is the marketplace that you actually get to have a real conversation with someone who understands the procurement needs of their company. And from the perspective of that procurement person representing corporate interests, they now have an opportunity to hear directly from you about what is your unique offering, what sets you apart, and how you as a vendor can help their company become more competitive in the marketplace. So the marketplace is a golden opportunity for both parties to really distinguish themselves. As a small business, it's your opportunity to, try out your elevator pitch and to try out the research that you've done on that company and really distinguish yourself from the other vendors that particular procurement officer may have met all around the country. And the procurement officer is absolutely looking for that golden gem. They're looking for that entity that can help their company really be more competitive.
And I would imagine the same could be said of any federal agents, any federal government agents or state or local agents that might be there as well representing their departments. I mean, it is sort of adding very diverse and distinct suppliers with very unique commodities to their database, and I'm sure that that's extremely helpful for them as well. Go ahead.
I would say absolutely. They are certainly in that same position. I think from a supplier point of view, as an entrepreneur, it's very important that we have to understand what value we're bringing to that agency, whether it's a governmental agency or a corporate procurement officer. The certification kind of opens the door of conversation, but we should lead that conversation with what is distinguishing about our service. Absolutely,
and we do hear that quite a bit from our corporate partners, is that they're very much interested in hearing that. So that's excellent advice to lead with.
Brent, could I just add something?
Sure.
This is Sam. All of that is so well said. I could not agree more. And I would just add one thing, is that I think the different procurement folks that do show up, I know there was some people from GSA at one of the tour stops, corporate partners, supplier diversity folks that do show up, they're really excited to see certified LGBTBEs networking with WBEs and MBEs, because it's so important. If you're talking to someone who's trying to create a fully inclusive supply chain, it really resonates with them to see that their potential suppliers are also fostering and nurturing that same kind of cross-segment collaboration, teaming opportunities, and building networks that are truly multicultural. And, that will not only add strength to your business because your network is getting richer and more diverse, but that's also very attractive to the people that are building these inclusive supply chains. So just food for thought.
Absolutely. And whenever I sent out the initial invite for this teleconference, I did hear I did get quite a few responses, and they were wondering if they should attend the Many Faces, One Dream tour. And Derek, I was hoping you could maybe speak to this, since we do have some business owners on the call who may be wondering if they should attend Many Faces, One Dream, since they're not business owners of color. Can you speak to the value of the program for all business owners?
Completely, and I think that Sam actually answered that question for me. Thank you, Sam. I think that it's really important, again, to continue to grow your network of business partners that you have. And I think the more commodities we have represented at the conference, the more we're able as business owners to connect with those different people, either business to business, business to client, to joint venture, and be able to pitch to larger clients by combining commodities together, which you couldn't do alone. And I think the more businesses we have in a room, the great opportunity we have to network with each other and to truly grow our businesses and the community in general. And again, I think Sam spoke very eloquently about, core partners like to see those types of partnerships and collaborations. It just really shows that we are embracing the entire community. And I think this is a great opportunity at this conference to be able to do that and meet people, of all walks of life, all business types, and really connect not only with business owners of color, but also everyone else who's a business owner as well, because we are all in it to increase our revenue and to make this community a better place. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, definitely for all. And we do have some folks also on the line who they might be in a city where Many Faces One Dream, for example, is not coming to their local city. But perhaps, Sam, maybe you can speak to the federal government resources that are available locally throughout the country that a business owner who might be in that situation might want to take advantage of.
Absolutely. And, it depends exactly what you're looking for, but I would say a really good first stop is always the SBA. And a lot of people don't realize this about the SBA. I think we tend to, or at least I did, I'll speak to my own assumptions that the more I learned, I had to break down a little bit. I sort of always thought of them from the lens of their lending products only. And the reality is business development is a big piece of what they do. And they also have blanket influence over all procurement. So they work very closely with federal contractors through their federal contractor development programs. So if you're interested in any kind of procurement, the SBA is a good place to start. They have their relationships. They understand the tactics. They know how to teach you to position your business appropriately for whatever you're seeking. To Kimberlee's point earlier about making sure you have the right certification for the right application for the right procurement opportunity, whether it's municipal, state, or federal. Those are all really different. And the SBA is just a great place to start to kind of learn the lay of the land, get the lingo, learn all those codes you have to know, and start doing your planning. So I would highly recommend taking advantage of all of your local SBA resources. They have courses, workshops, webinars, all kinds of things all the time, all over the country. And it's an incredible agency. And, for those of you who've heard our good friend Gene Cornelius speaking at our conference or at our federal procurement fair, he's one of the greatest champions of LGBT inclusion in procurement and someone who's working really hard to open doors for LGBT-owned businesses. And the nature of his role is that every field office in America reports to him. So it would not be an exaggeration to say that every single one of those offices has been instructed to make sure they're doing everything they can to advocate for opportunities for LGBT-owned businesses, just as they do for other communities. So it's a very exciting time to engage with them. They're actually looking for you. We get calls from SBA offices. They're just like, well, I haven't met any of these business owners yet. Could you tell them about us? And that's what we're trying to do. And that's one of the reasons that we're so excited to be one of the supporting partners for the Many Faces One Dream Tour.
Absolutely. And I've spoken actually with a few SBA individuals from the Dallas office, and they were extremely inviting to all of our LGBTBEs. And they said, quite frankly, if we can't help you, we'll know where to direct you. So it's a great resource. Definitely take advantage of that. Now, in terms of follow-up, and this is open to anyone on the call, what would you suggest in terms of follow-up after attending a Many Faces One Dream event?
I'll start with that. I would say, number one, you're all smart entrepreneurs, and I know you're good at follow-up. Many of you have followed up with me after when I've met you, and I've been impressed with your skills. Yeah, I think this scenario is just like any other business development opportunity. All the contacts that you make, you want to have some follow-up with, and I think you want to have really strategic follow-up with anybody who you sort of see in a specific strategic light. For example, if you meet a colleague who you think you want to explore some kind of teaming opportunities or collaboration with, I would be very specific in your follow-up and beyond all the niceties that you would, of course, have in a polite follow-up email. I would just include, I'm interested in exploring this tactical opportunity for you. Here's why I think it would be valuable, and go ahead and try to get an appointment. Just keep that networking going so that you're taking concrete steps toward whatever strategic end that you have in mind with each contact.
Excellent. No, I think that's really great advice. It's always important to follow up, and if for whatever reason you don't have, if you misplace those contacts, we here at the NGLCC are very happy to help remake those connections or make those connections initially for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. That actually concludes all of the questions we have from suppliers. So if for the moderators, if you have anything else to say.
This is Sam. I would just say I look forward to seeing all of you at one of these stops. And if you want to know more, you want to have more conversations about this, feel free to reach out to me personally. It's, one of my greatest joys to advocate for opportunities for all of you. So don't ever hesitate to reach out. There's something I can do to help.
And this is Derek. I echo that from Sam. We're looking forward to seeing you guys in New York. And if there's anything that I can do from the New York Chamber perspective, please feel free to reach out, and I'll be happy to help connect you or get you focused in the right direction.
And absolutely looking forward to all of you meeting most of you. I hope you decide to participate in this Many Faces, One Dream tour. I'll be the person at every certification workshop.
Awesome. Well, excellent. Thank you so much, Kimberlee, Sam, and Derek, for joining the call, and for all of our LGBTBEs as well on the call. And we hope you have a great afternoon, a great Wednesday afternoon.
Thank you, Brent.
Great. Brent, thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you.